I'm OptiGPU, and today we'll be testing the RTX 3050 and doing a quick comparison to some other cards I've tested in an Optiplex 7010 small form factor. Testing in 3D Mark's TimeSpy, the GTX 1650 got a 3505, RX 6400 3569, the A380 got a 3675, asterisk on that one, and the A2000 got a 4942. But where will the 3050 land? Alright, now it's time for the unboxing and install. Let's get this box open and see what we got here. Alright, we're going to open this up, and it's nicely packaged and nestled inside there. Let's pull that thing out. It looks like it's got some Gigabyte branded yellow tape on it because I bought this thing brand new. Let's pull that tape off and get a look at our hardware. Pulling it out of the bag, you can see it's got a full height bracket on it. And let's get a little bit of a close-up on those two fans. The ports, we've got a display port, two HDMI ports, and another display port. Turning it over, we get a peek at its backside. It looks like it's wearing a shoe on its motherboard interface. Gigabyte does a really good job of covering up all the most delicate components. But before we install this, we need to take off this full height bracket. It looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4 screws that we need to get off, and it'll come right off. Somewhere in this box, we should be able to find the low profile bracket. Here it is. And we're going to be replacing the full height bracket with this so that it'll fit in our small form factor PC. But in order to do that, I need my screwdriver for my toolkit. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Let's get this thing open and get the tools out. The Oria 86-in-1 precision screwdriver kit includes 57 precision bits, triangle plectrum, cleaning brush and cloth, utility knife, wrist strap, tweezers, SIM card remover, LCD suction cup, and 21 other things I can't even think of right now. But it makes it very easy to take apart and repair small electronics. We're going with the J1 today because that fits our screws perfectly. We're going to go a little bit fast right now because I don't think you really want to see me take all this stuff off and put the smaller one back on, but here it goes. We're putting the screws into the small form factor version and we're done. Let's take a look at the finished product. Oh, that's so beautiful. And we did it all with our Oria 86-in-1. Now we're ready to get our 3050 installed. We've got the side panel off of our 7010, and let's take the shoe off so that these puppies can breathe. We're going to plug it right down into that blue PCI 16X slot. As we push it down, oh, it's not really going down. This thing's long. I need to scoot these cords a little bit out of the way so that I can plug it directly down into the 16X slot. Those cords are a little bit tight, but it's a tight fit. That never deterred me before. It's not going to deter me now. We're going to push it straight down in there. We should hear a satisfying click, and it's kind of a mushy sound. That tends to happen sometimes, but it's in there. We're going to close the retention bracket and double check that it's in, and it's in. And we're falling, oh my god, okay. Now it's time to stress out this graphics card with a ring of cat fur. Here we go, we're watching this ring of cat fur dancing around on our screen. It looks like we're only drawing about 70 watts of power total. That's not too bad. For our first benchmark, we're going to do TimeSpy. We got a TimeSpy score of 3467. That actually puts us at the bottom of the list compared to other low-profile cards we've tested. But I'm going to be thorough and do all the 3D Mark benchmark tests. The next one up is Firestrike. We got a score of 8471. Then following that, we have Night Raid, and we got a score of 17959. Our first game is the latest version of Fallout. For Fallout, the card was detected and high settings were automatically selected. That's as high as it can go. Just like I expected, this game plays great and has played great on every card I've tested so far, including the A380, which requires resizable bar. Even though we didn't have access to resizable bar, It still played great with that card and also plays great with the 3050. If I can remember how to do this cool punch. Yeah, here we go. Oh, why am I wearing tidy whities? That's weird. All right, let's go to the next game. Our next game is a preview of Palworld. Palworld is like Pokemon, but with weapons. It didn't seem like a very graphics-intensive game up front compared to some of the others I like to use for testing, so initially I maxed out the settings on Epic settings. It looked like the frame rate was low enough that it was definitely affecting gameplay, so I went back in and changed the settings to medium. That's what you're seeing right now is medium settings, and it made it much more playable. Even though I wasn't really getting 60 frames per second, it definitely feels playable. I wonder what would happen if I run up and punch this mammoth. Okay, I made it mad. Let me see if I can beat it up and catch it. Here we go, and oh crap, oh gosh, he's strong. Forza Horizon 4 was listed on NVIDIA's website as one of the games that utilizes resizable bar with the 3050, and so I would assume that it does the same for its successor, this game, Forza Horizon 5. In its benchmark mode, it suggested high settings, and it's usually on the conservative side, so I'm going to go with high settings and see how it goes. Gaming on high settings, I noticed the frame rate was very low, and there's a noticeable lag on the turns. So I would consider it pretty much unplayable on high settings. I have high standards. This is unplayable for me. I can't stay on the road. Changing the settings to medium and seeing how it goes, I don't really see much difference between high and medium settings. It's almost as if the lag is even more noticeable as I run into the side of a building, even though the frame rate has maybe creeped up a tiny bit. So putting it on low settings, it looks like the frame rate has inched up, maybe just a little, but there's not that much difference between medium and low settings either. So I've got one more chance. I put the settings all the way down to very low, and I guess I've been testing for so long that it's now nighttime. The frame rate is noticeably better most of the time. Even though I can still notice a tiny bit of lag, it's better as well. This is definitely surprising because I remember the RTX A2000 performing super well with this game, and at the time it was supposed to be equivalent to at least the full-size 3050. I was able to max it out on ultra-high settings, so it seems like there's still some optimization to be had here, specifically with this card on Forza Horizon 5. In Starfield, I noticed there is significantly more film grain and haze compared to when I was playing it with the Intel Arc A380, and this game obviously needs more optimization as well because I'm noticing on medium settings quite a bit of frame rate slowdown. I remember with the A380, the frame rate of 30 frames per second was actually perfectly playable, but here it's dropping down right at the worst times, like right when I'm about to need to shoot somebody, I can't because the frame rate's dropping. In Halo Infinite, I'm taking the suggested graphics settings and kicking them up a notch just because I can. According to the game analysis of my card, I'm able to work at these settings, but it might drop some frames here or there, so we'll see how it goes. I selected Quick Play and it dropped me right into a lot of action with Capture the Flag game. This is perfect for really seeing what this card can do because bullets and grenades are flying all over the place.